Hey everybody, this is GGB, no co-host Peppers. Today we're going to be talking about what happened yesterday in college basketball, how it affected the different conferences, and we're going to talk about the one upset I am picking for today. So let's get straight into this thing right now. Yesterday we had three pretty huge Big Ten basketball games. Let's go over how those worked out. Michigan was able to beat Rutgers, sending Rutgers to an 8-8 record and putting Michigan in a pretty solid first place. There's only about 4 games left in the season. So, barring a complete collapse from Michigan, it looks like they're definitely going to win. They need to lose 2 games, which I mean is possible considering they have Ohio State and Iowa left on their schedule. But I feel like they'll win one of those games, and it's unrealistic they lose to Indiana or Michigan State. So that would really hurt all those Illinois fans out there still hoping for first place, but I don't think you're going to get it this year, guys. Going on, Ohio State was able to beat Penn State, keeping them in a pretty solid third place right behind Illinois. And Illinois' main priority right now should be to keep the number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament. There's a team called Ohio State that is on their tails right now, so I would be a little bit worried if I was a Fighting Illini fan. Iowa was able to stay alive against Wisconsin and move to a 10-5 record, keeping them in 4th place. Now, Purdue fans were thanking the Hawkeyes a lot last night because that moved them into 5th place in the Big Ten, even though they're not ranked, which is weird. I feel like they should be ranked. I feel like they're good enough to be ranked, but, that's not up to me. That's an AP poll. And, okay, Wisconsin lost. Obviously, that sent them into 6th place. Now, with a win, Rutgers would have had the same record as them, and they could be only just the overall record off of passing Wisconsin. But unfortunately for all those Rutgers fans out there, they lost to Michigan last night, sending them to an 8-8 record. Although that was good for all those Indiana fans, because Indiana can pass Rutgers with an Indiana win and a Rutgers loss. Now, Penn State, on the other hand, lost a pretty close one to Ohio State, and all those Michigan State fans were happy. They have a chance to redeem themselves on Sunday against Iowa, but the chances of them making the tournament seem less likely every day because the best record Penn State can possibly have at the end of the season is 500, so obviously not ideal. Moving on to the American Conference, Houston lost first place since Wichita State upset them last night. Now, Wichita State has a 9-2 in conference. Houston has an 11-3 in conference record, so Houston definitely needs to win. If they really want to retake that 1 seed in the American, they definitely need to start playing better. They have not played well recently. Now, moving on to the WCC West Coast Conference, Gonzaga was able to run away with this one pretty early, as many of us expected. San Diego fans were rejoicing about that because they were able to pass St. Mary's last night since St. Mary's lost. Pacific lost too, so it was the perfect opportunity for St. Mary's to pass Pacific, but they were unable to take advantage of it. And then, finally, in the Mountain West yesterday, as I said, nothing would change with a win or a loss from either team. That's what happened. San Diego State won, but they stay in 4th place behind Utah State, about a game behind them. Fresno State lost, but again, not bad. They're not a worse team than UNLV right now, not a worse conference record. So that's definitely something you can point to if you're a Fresno State fan. I could honestly see 4 different Mountain West teams making this tournament because Boise State, Colorado State, Utah State, and San Diego State, I believe, are all playing at a very high level right now. So that's definitely something to look for if you're a Mountain West fan. It's going to be really tough if you're a fan of a team like, let's say, Nevada or Fresno State or UNLV to really break through that top tier. I think that's going to be really tough. But you might be asking, GB, what are you going to do since there's no top 25 game today and there's no real Power 5 game today? If you look at it, no SEC, ACC, Big 10, Pac-12, Big 12, Big East, any way you want to look at it. So I'm going to go with an Atlantic 10 game. Now, Atlantic 10 is likely going to send more than one representative. It's a weird year. VCU normally leads it, but Davidson and UMass are normally not the top of the mountain, the Atlantic 10 this year, but this year they are, which is weird to say the very least. So let's go over what the game is. It's Dayton versus St. Louis. Now, with the loss, St. Louis would drop to the same record as Richmond, right? And I did the math. If Dayton wins, they're really on the same if you do the math, in conference win percentage, a 4-3 record's about the same as an 8-6 record for Dayton. So if Dayton wins this game, they have the same in-conference record. Just overall, Richmond has a better record than Dayton does. So unfortunately for Dayton, the best they can do is pass Duquesne today. They're not going to drop below Rhode Island, which is a good thing, even with a loss. With St. Louis, I don't think they're going to end up passing St. Bonaventure. They're definitely not passing UMass or Davidson, which honestly I've never expected to see UMass at the top of the Atlantic 10 with all these teams like St. Louis, Duquesne, Richmond, Dayton, Rhode Island. Like, all these teams are normally teams that make the postseason. UMass being ahead of them is absolutely ridiculous, and it's a really weird year when that happens. But I have to pick the upset, and this is why I'm going to pick Dayton to upset St. Louis. Now, St. Louis is favored by 5.5 points in this game, which is why I'm picking Dayton. Dayton's actually been really good this year. It's been a streaky team. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Lost to VCU, and they lost to Rhode Island on Tuesday by 2 points. But if you look back, they've beaten St. Louis before. I think they can do it again. They haven't been playing as well recently. Last 3 of 4. The only win in the past since February 2nd is George Mason, which, I mean, that's not your ideal. And they don't have an ideal schedule moving forward, having to play St. Louis on today, St. Bonaventure on Sunday, February 28th, so not this Sunday, don't worry. And then VCU on March 3rd, and then you have to start the tournament. It's not a great schedule moving forward, but I think this is a must-win for the Flyers if they really want to stay in the race for making the March Madness tournament. You need to be as high a seed as possible, and that means a win today for Dayton. Dayton's played extremely well sometimes, and they beat St. Louis before. I think they can do it again, so give me the Flyers in the upset. Hey everybody, this is GGB saying adios amigos and go Flyers.